And welcome to our community. Susie Thomas here, and a big day, big celebration coming up with Veterans Day in about a week. We thought you'd like to know about one very special event that's going to be occurring, and also just meet the people behind the people who serve our veterans here at home. So good morning to Dr. Gerald Weir and also Billy Janet Berkey. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Dr. Weir, let's talk with you. May I call you Jera?
Yes, please.
Well, I love that name, so I
Thank
wanted to
you.
use it. And thanks so much for being here. Tell us a little bit about the Veteran Center, the Vet Center.
Well, I'm with the Stark County Vet Center, and we primarily see combat veterans and their families, and we deal with a lot of the readjustment issues that they have after coming back into civilian life. We have 2 social workers, and I'm also a family therapist on staff. And we can see anyone from individuals to couples to families to kids, even if it's related to their parents' readjustment concerns.
What are the primary types of issues you deal with?
Unfortunately, we see a lot of the PTSD in our combat veterans, but also just kind of reintegrating into civilian life and back into family. Oftentimes, when the veteran goes away, the other parent in the family or the other person in the relationship kind of picks up everything and does everything on their own. And then there's almost a loss coming back because they don't know exactly where they fit into that anymore.
Well, and depending on how long the parent's been away, that might be unusual for children, wouldn't it be? We often see those wonderful pictures of children being surprised with their parent returning.
Yeah.
What's the downside of this?
Well, unfortunately, if you look into the attachment of children with their parents, if the parent is absent early on in the child's life, that can do a lot of behavior concerns, and the kids come out. Not always, but that's pretty typical. And then just missing the parent. It's just, you're kind of being raised by a single parent at some point, even if there is a companion there. So a lot of the children just kind of, they also feel kind of the ramifications of what the parents are going through.
Yes.
In the family, and just kind of the struggles of being away from a parent that long.
Do you see differences between when it's the father versus the mother, or whether it's the mother serving? Are there differences there in the family dynamic?
Absolutely. I think that typically we think of men going away to war, but it is more common than ever for women to be in combat situations. So especially with the younger kids, I think that has more of an effect. But also with, even the father going away, of some children have kind of a resentment of why weren't you at this school function, or why couldn't you be here? And just kind of balancing out some of those concerns when they get back, and having a better understanding of why the parent left, and how to kind of process those feelings and emotions for the children.
We really can't begin to thank enough our military families, can we?
No, absolutely not.
What they're willing to put on the line and sacrifice so that the rest of us can live the way we live is kind of mind-bending.
Yeah.
I would hope technology would make some of this easier as far as being able to communicate. Does it?
I don't know that it makes it easier, but I think there's more communication back and forth as far as like Facebook and internet and Skype and those type of things. That is one of the benefits, now compared to like World War II or Vietnam or something. There's more of an open communication, but unfortunately not always. So that's very case by case of how much interaction they can have with their family while they're deployed.
Mm-hmm. Billy Janet Berkey is a very important person here at the Light 95.9 WNPQ. She pretty much runs things and is here to tell us about a very exciting event and one way to thank our veterans. What's going on, BJ?
We are going to, on November 15th, have Thanksgiving dinner for our veterans. Jan Markowitz and Maria Makata, our evening host and one of our salespeople, kept saying, we want to do something for the vets. We want to feed them. Well, they were thinking, let's cook them dinner. I'm like, I don't know, girls. We're powerful, but we're not that powerful. So we got the idea to have a dinner concert. I called our friends over at First Christian on Market Avenue. The date just happened to be open. She had a cancellation. And Miss Diane Clemens is going to do us a dinner, a full Thanksgiving dinner for the veterans. We have sponsors. I don't have a complete list yet because we're still getting our sponsors to help pay for the dinner for the veterans. And we will have some music, and the staff will be there to greet people. And it's just going to be a nice, relaxing evening, we hope, for the veterans, just to show a quick appreciation of some of our local men and women and what they do. Jan Markowitz, our afternoon host, is going to sing for us. We have the group Dogwood Lane, which is Denny, I'm going to mess his name up, Carmichael, Dennis Carmichael, Joe Vitale Sr., Dan Bernard, and Ryan Wilson, and Justin Joseph. They're all from the area.
Okay, let's point out Joe Vitale Sr. Don't want to gloss over that one. He has played with the Eagles, Dan Fogelberg,
Right.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash, was recently in the Meryl Streep movie Ricky and the Flash, where he plays the drummer.
Right.
And so he's going to be in town to be able to
He'll be in
perform at
town.
this as well.
We're proud of that, and hopefully Joe Jr. will come with him.
Well,
We'll
let's
see what
hope so.
happens.
So
Haven't
good.
talked to him yet, but hopefully he'll come. Joe Jr. had a show on NPQ for a couple months for local artists, but we're excited about that. And also Harry Boyd from Breezy Rider will be doing our national anthem for us.
Nice.
And hopefully Susie Thomas and Jim Kelly and Jim Bernay will also say some words for us that day.
We'll
So
be
we're
there. We'll be
excited.
there. Count on it.
We're excited
exciting.
about it. So we are still getting sponsors, and if anybody's interested in helping with that, let us know. And we will also be selling tickets in addition to, so the people who aren't vets that would like to come participate with us will have the opportunity through our website to buy tickets for the dinner.
What a nice idea, and what a nice way to show support for the military and just say thank you. I know so many of us always try to be conscious of that to when we bump into someone at the airport or so forth, to just thank them for their service, buy a meal if you're behind someone. But here's a chance to meet someone face to face who is there fighting the good fight, literally. You mentioned some sponsors. Do you have some names of who so far is sponsoring?
So far, off the top of my head, that are confirmed is Millette Chiropractic, All Type Heating and Cooling, Discount Tire Outlet, and Papa Gyros.
Very nice.
And we have some more coming in, so check the website at thelight959.com, and the sponsors will be on there, and the opportunity to purchase tickets and how the veterans can get their free tickets.
We are visiting with Gerald Weir from the Stark County Vet Center, and also Billy Janet Berkey from here, the Light 95.9. Remind us again the date, time, how people can get tickets.
November 15th.
That's a Sunday?
That's a Sunday. At 6 o'clock p.m. at First Christian Church, which is Market Avenue North on the Edgewood campus. And we probably by Friday, there'll be information up on the website on how to get the tickets at thelight959.com.
And you said Thanksgiving dinner, so what's the menu?
What do you think?
Turkey.
Turkey. Somebody said there's a turkey shortage, so
Maybe
we're
some
going to have
ham?
for sure some ham, but hopefully turkey too. And just a typical stuffing, dressing, same thing, sorry. Mashed potatoes, that kind of stuff.
Pumpkin pie. All right, sounds
For
good.
those
And,
who haven't been to First Christian, Diane is an extremely good cook.
and I'm guessing this is free to veterans and their families?
To veterans and one guest.
Veterans and one guest. And then tickets
tickets-
available for anyone else.
Yes, $10.
Great. Jera, you're going to be there?
I just might. That sounds like a fantastic event.
And
yeah.
but before we go on, please, no, don't you scoot out of here yet. Remind us who the entertainment is. Tell us that whole thing, because it's not just meal; it's also a wonderful
Right.
concert.
Jan Markowitz,
From the Light.
Dogwood Lane, which is a Christian rock band, and National Anthem by Harry Boyd.
Wonderful. And you mentioned the Vitalis.
And of course, the color guard will be there.
Oh, nice. Well, you have really thought this through. This just sounds like a wonderful event.
Connections?
You do. You have them. You can get on that phone and call anybody. Dr. Weir, let's go back to the veterans in our area. How many people are we talking about that you serve?
Ooh, that can really vary. Unfortunately, I think that we're underutilized at the vet center. A lot of people don't know we exist, and just kind of getting our name out there and what we do. It's a free service. It's something that they've earned with their military service. It's free, it's confidential. Our records are kept separate than like VA clinic records, so there's an additional level of confidentiality there for them, which is a great benefit for some people. As far as like higher ranks and stuff like that can get involved. So we do individual counseling, we do couples, we do families, and we can also see children.
So you are really focused on the mental health issues. What is your relationship with the physical health and the Veterans Administration as far as the clinics and so forth?
Sure. So we also do referral services. So if we meet with a veteran and their families and we notice maybe medication would be good, or if they're in physical pain for pain management and stuff, we can definitely help them get to the right place. We also filter quite a few phone calls of just, I'm a veteran, but I don't know what I'm eligible for. Where do I go? So they can certainly call us to kind of help them figure out what exactly they're needing and then who to call where.
Okay, so let's give them all that information. First of all, where are you located and how can people reach you?
We are located in the Metropolitan Center in downtown Canton at 601 Cleveland Avenue North. And the phone number there is 330-454-3120.
And can you repeat that, please?
Yes, it's 330-454-3120. And between 8 and 4:30, you're going to get a live person on the phone. And hopefully we can get you to the right people if it's not us.
And do you have a website?
We have, just through the VA, we're not because we're part of the Veterans Affairs, and it's vetcenter.va.gov.
vetcenter.va.gov,
Yep.
and then a place to click on for the Vet Center, probably
Yeah,
one
you
of the
can-
tabs.
Yep, that'll take you to the main page for vet centers, and then you can click on locations, and it goes a little more into detail of what other services we do. Because we also do military sexual trauma. You do not need to be a combat veteran to receive those services. And then also we take bereavement cases for anyone killed in action. We can see their family members.
What kinds of things do you provide for a family that's lost a loved one?
Counseling. And then referrals. We have a lot of connections in the community as far as resources. I mean, housing items, if they need that, housing, period. Just try to get them what they need. I had one family that really just didn't want to come to counseling, but they wanted support groups. So just locating, the ones in the area that maybe they would have a good fit with.
One of the most moving funerals I was just attended not too long ago had a 21-gun salute.
Oh, wow.
Is that something you provide, or can you point someone in the right direction if they want to honor their loved one in that way?
It's not something we provide from the vet center, but we can definitely get them in connection with somebody that could provide that service for them.
What other things do families face? I mean, you've mentioned so many, the job situation and, of course, mental health and so forth. Getting someone put back into society after they've been in combat is not easy, is it? What kinds of things do you have to think about?
Well, unfortunately, the government teaches them how to be a combat, but they don't teach them how to be a civilian again. And that's a big struggle because they're constantly in that. And this is not everyone, but for the majority, they're constantly in that hyper state of arousal, and it's just kind of bringing them down of what does calm feel like? Do you remember what that feels like? How can we get you back to that with some relaxation or meditation or things like that? As far as families, just sometimes it's just fear of kind of the unknown of what to expect, or, who is mom and dad now that they've been away and what they've seen, and just kind of fitting all those pieces back together for the family.
Well, we thank you so much for what you do, Gerald Weir and B.J. Berkey. Thank you so much for what you're doing for those who serve. And we'll be back with more after these words. You're listening to Our Community.